Howdy, partner. Craig Thompson, the booze hunter with Impromptu Wine Review. And the wine on the cutting room floor today is the 2008 Moric Blaufrankisch from Burgenland in Austria. So Moric, the producer, Blaufrankisch, the variety, Burgenland, the region in Austria where the variety for this particular wine at least has been grown, and a region renowned for Blaufrankisch amongst another couple of red varieties. So the part I want to start with today is colour, but not so much colour, but appearance. So I made a very amateur mistake with this wine. I grabbed it out of my wine fridge, which is just out of camera this way. Got the cork out, had the decanter ready, poured the contents of this 9-year-old wine into the decanter, and then poured myself a glass to have a bit of a look at the wine, see what I'd just poured. And I was like, oh, it's cloudy. Now, to avoid my amateur mistake, if you know that you are going to be opening this wine on a particular night, get it out the night before from where it's been carefully stored on its side in temperature control. Stick it on the kitchen table upright. Let all that sediment settle out to the bottom of the bottle. And when it comes to opening, just carefully take the cork out and carefully decant into another vessel. By candlelight, if you're so sophisticated, or torch, or the naked eye in some good light in the modern environment will suffice. But what I'm saying is try and leave as much of that sediment behind as you can, so you get the freshest, clearest portion of the bottle. Now, what cloudiness does tell me though, is that the wine I'm going to be tasting has not been made just to please. It's not going to be a big fruited, high alcohol, lashings of new oak type wine that's just made to please some wine critics and just look glossy and friendly and buxom. Okay? It's not going to be that sort of wine. It's going to be a wine made authentically to express the best that these grapes could do that year, given the vines they're grown on, the soils they're planted in, the climate conditions of that particular vintage, and all the factors that go into growing a grape. Because in the end, with this particular wine, the wine making is merely just getting the juice, turning it into wine, and going, voila, that is what the grapes produced. So that's what cloudiness indicates. That's a big segment on appearance. How about the actual wine? Well, when I first started sticking my nose in it, and even now, my mind was going to Pinot. You know, in terms of looking at the characters of this wine, I was like, Pinot. I want to go to my Pinot list of characters. Nebbiolo. No, but it's not that either. And Pinot, Nebbiolo, but it's neither of those. But it certainly shares elements of wines that I've tasted made with those varieties. So when I stick my nose in this particular wine, I'm seeing there's mushroom pie, there's, fresh sweet compost. When you smell a really good compost, it's actually quite a beautiful, sweet, earthy smell. There's fresh thyme, the herb from the garden. On occasions, I stick my nose in there and there's spice. And then certainly after, this has been in the decanter a couple of hours now, and, some of that sediment has settled out, and there's a lot more fruit coming forward for me. There's blueberry, there's rhubarb and cherry pie. And then now there's overlaid these beautiful floral aromatics, some, sort of rose petal floral aromatics. And it's a beautifully complex nose that, once again, like many of the wines that the Club Booze Hunter members try at least, the wines that you can just spend time enjoying the nose on. You don't even have to drink them. It's almost, these aren't necessarily wines even made for drinking immediately. You can just sit there for a while and smell and see what's coming forward. But we are going to try drinking some of this one. Success in drinking anyway. It's medium bodied. There's some, certainly once again with time and probably with the settling of the sediment, there's sort of this black licorice root type character in there. It's medium bodied, it's condensed, but it's reminding me more of Nebbiolo. If I had to go to a variety that I know better than Blaufränkisch, it would be off in the Nebbiolo direction on the palate, but without that tannin structure of Nebbiolo. In fact, the tannin, it's structural, but the tannins aren't that evident. It's got texture, rather than the structure. It's textural, but the tannins aren't that evident. And then there's a underlying freshness to the palate and acidity, but it's not overly evident. It's just, when I taste this wine now, my mind is thinking I need to start cooking Moroccan spice lamb, because in the end, that is what all Austrians eat when they're drinking their Blaufränkisch. So I've got some cooking to do. As for you, peace, stay awesome, the Booze Hunter. 2008, Moric, Blaufränkisch, Burgenland, Austria. Get into it.